Alright, hello. How's it going? I don't know. This should be good. Just working on my RuneScape Iron Man account. I'll have to go back to that later. So basically I haven't made anything, like any videos because I've just been really distracted with like work. For example, I work like every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I close a restaurant. So basically that's quite a bit of work. So on the Wednesday and Friday I go to school from like 7 to 3, so I come home, I have like 2 hours, and then I gotta go again to work, and then I'll get home till like 11, 12, or 1 in the morning, depending. So I got school Monday to Friday, and the school's almost over right now for the time being, like four more weeks or something. So yeah, and then more stuff will come hopefully. But then I've also been like getting back into RuneScape, trying to find my love for the game again, because I really do like that game. And so that's been taking up a lot of time. I've been working on like my own stuff, and I haven't really found anything to do videos on as either. So recently on there's been a release on the Mr. Muffin channel of a remix I did, and everyone really likes it. I have high standards, but like, so I'm not liking where it went, but we're gonna review that. It's in here somewhere, I swear. Where's it at? Was this one? I thought I had it. Oh, yeah, okay. If you make a project and then save it and then decide to change the name later, you have to do 2 name changes to actually get the save file thing. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. To change the folder name, because all you do is change the project name. So I'd called it like Serious Remix at once, and then when it actually started to go somewhere, I was like, okay, we'll give it a real name then. Okay, so basically there was like the remix for this song, like Kes HMR and Felix Snow feat Maddie Touch. Feat Maddie, and the song is called Touch. I didn't like the original too much, but I just liked like Maddie or whatever, whoever did the singing, I think it was Maddie. So that's what I went with. The only thing I used was a little bit of stuff out of here, maybe. Impossible. We can lose it all. Yeah. I actually didn't use, I only used this. And then I just made chords to the piano. And that's how I did it. So we'll go on to this again, but so I shouldn't have to play the song through. I kind of like don't really want to, but okay. So let's start with the mastering. Now, I didn't use the mastering I would have liked to, because life. Wait. I don't think I uploaded the mastered version. Oops. No, I don't think I did, because I was like complaining. I was like, where'd all the high ends go? I totally thought I fixed this with my mixing and stuff. So like this was like the high end fix for the general song, along with a little bit of that, and it wasn't coming out, and I guess this was probably interfering with parts. So the way I did the mastering was I just did my standard cuts, so pretending this wasn't there, and this is how I usually do it, like 125 hertz stereo gone, 20 hertz mid gone, because below that subwoofer, and no one cares about subwoofer. And then I just boosted some of the stereo only, up in this region, just to get like the high out, like more stereo, and then I threw on a cut at the end. There's no real point in throwing on cuts at the end, but like I did anyways. That might have made the high end suffer a little bit. I'm not too sure, to be honest. It was just an experiment. So I used a preset out of here, out of FabFilter MB's thing, called something about 6-band. It was this one. I used this one. Then I basically just bunked around with it a bit and changed some numbers to figure out what I wanted. Because, like, I mean, it did sound, it just suited really well, actually. That's why I did it, so. And then when it's all done, it goes to FabFilter. Hang on a second. Oh. I'm finding so many problems. I didn't put the limiter after the multiband that was actually mastering. I got them confused because they look the exact same, so I can't differentiate between the two. So I thought this one was before that one, so that makes some mixing problems. Basically what this is just a limiter. So like really fast attack, bit of release. You can see it's limiting, and it's like at 6, or I think it was at whatever was like necessary to skip out on the crackling. I'm basically trying to use it like FabFilter Pro L, like the limiter, but not really. That's all I did for the mastering, like nothing. I didn't have like access to, I have access to my Ozone stuff right now, because this computer is like not like okay with it, so like it's only on my Mac. And this wasn't exactly like a serious song I was trying to make, so I wasn't gonna like move it to my Mac and master and then like bring it back. Yeah. So let's open stuff. This is so time consuming. Like, how does this not just do it to all of them? I don't understand. And okay, that's what I wanted, more or less. So the project is all the way opened up now, and we can look at the project. So what I did... No? Alright, well. So I had stuff organized into groups. Basically, this is actually a sub. And yeah, so I have, just for the vocals, I have a track, and on it are not used reverbs and delays. Wait, no, that reverb is used, actually. I lied. This delay is not. So I have them organized. It's just the same thing over and over again in case I want to do some fading like this, like coming up to the drop, because if I just did this, it's like weird how it comes in, so I just did that. Repeat some stuff. And then taking advantage of like, oops, of this. To come in at the same time as the vocals are playing. Yeah, and this is just nothing. And then I didn't use that because originally that was supposed to be like some sort of funky like outro that I completely deleted. It was really funny. I had like a Vocodex thing and everything. Yeah, so that's where that went. And then there's some audio down here for like, is it in that group? No, just random audio for no reason. Oh, right, this was part of the carrier stuff, so like I didn't actually need this at all anymore. So that's how I organized the vocals. The vocal hook was like, it's off. It was never used during the song. I threw in some harmonizations from Vila to go in with these. And I have some breaths from her as well. It sounds a lot better when it's being sidechained and there's a lot of reverb. Yeah, and then I pitched them up. So, like, those just helped add some atmosphere. And for synths, there's actually not that many instruments. Okay, never mind. There's actually quite a few, but there's not as many as there, like, usually would be. So, I have a piano, which is Contact. No. This is the real piano. What? I don't know why that's the... Oh, okay, gotcha. So basically what I did here was I have the... I'm automating some stuff out of the reverb. I think. Yeah. So I have it sound like distant, and then I bring the distance away with like lowering the mix. Is essentially the same thing with the delay. The delay gives it that. This is what it sound like without that. But then if I add on this like delay, it gives it, because like what will happen is the delay will like it's keeping it like to the sides, and then it comes back to the center, so it's like far away, and you're just, it's like if you were to record something in a large room but you stood really far away, so all you were hearing was like the echo bouncing off the walls. You were like way down the hallway or something, and you were just hearing the echo and only the reverb, because all of the actual mono that came out of the instrument or whatever while it was being played would have bounced off the walls and gotten weaker and more hollow with each bounce, and that's what reverb and echo comes from, like delay. So it's like taking a microphone, I guess, and walking down a hallway closer to the source of the sound is a good way to describe it if you can visualize it that way. And that's what the reverb's also doing. Because there's quite a lot of reverb on here. And then I've got some, the macro of this cutoff is being modulated by this macro here. And these are just like standard. I don't know, these are just plucks like I've just been making for the longest time, I believe. Oh yeah, this is the same Plux Virtual Riot uses in Turn Up. Something out of his like the one that came with Gravity and stuff. The EP, I forget. That's where that's coming from. The pluck, same pluck. And then piano. Whenever I use Contact, I always turn up the volume of the inside just to as loud as like no peak if you were to play like a lot of chords. But that's at 127 velocity, and the velocity on these chords are 78.7, which is like the equivalent of, I guess, like 100 or whatever, or 99 or whatever the default is. And then they go up at some point here. So the chords, I believe, are like a G minor, like... I think it's G minor, something, something. Or no, F sharp minor, sorry. Yeah. And then it's down to a E minor, and then a G, or sorry, D minor, and then I throw in like a B minor. Not like an actual B minor, but like, cause this is still the remnants of like the G, or the D. And then I just do it again. And then for the actual like breakdown part, I just give it this crazy reverb with all these other elements going on in the background. It's just buildable as reverb, just get these simple chords, cause there's too many chord changes here. The do, it's just too much, like, for the build to a drop. There's too much action going on for the kind of feel I wanted. And then basically what I did was I took these plucks here, and then I just copied them. No, wait. Oh, I didn't actually copy them. Okay, well, I just took the basic sine plucks that I've went over before. They're processed pretty heavily from what I remember. Some compression. They have lots of delay, lots of reverb. EQing out all the high or the low to make sure there's no sub frequencies in there. So they come in like this. And then, yeah, they're just sine plucks. Like literally, there's an envelope just like plugging them. And then these are self-made. Just some self-made moving super saws with the correct processing makes them sound like that, because if not, they would sound like this. And then I do this. So what I'm modulating in this is, hang on, let me figure out what exactly it is I'm modulating. What do you go to? Tell me your secrets. There's nothing in here, right? Oh, there's a filter in here, right. So I modulate low pass, and then I put the flanger. to help get the stereo and the mid and the low kind of more separated, more stereo, and like a little give everything more extra personality. But other than that, the actual chords are, what are they? Wow. Wow. There's nothing intense going on here. It was just like a square saw and some like unisono, and that was it. Oh yeah, where are we at in this progress here? Okay, this is 20 minutes. And then, so those are the sign plucks, obviously with these processed. The pluck and the piano help keep the presence of the they work together, but if I take out the plucks are more or less just there for the like fake reverb, and then this is to fill up all the space that the pad is to fill up all the space that that's not there with because the piano has like the initial attack kind of thing. So once the piano's attack's done, because if we look at a piano's like movement, see how it comes out real quick. But if we actually get these plucks in, see all this like stereo like that follows it, you know what I mean? So like if I'm missing a lot of the verb out of here and it cuts out quick, and then I combine the two, I get like some solid verb before the next like set of chords or whatever. And then obviously so much space is being filled up by these already wet, like delayed everything. And like if you listen to this with the harmonization, sounds a bit empty, so like these really help. But you don't really notice that it's like not coming. And is there anything else I'm missing? No, like I just have sound effects, obviously. Where are those at, by the way? You actually all don't need to be like that. So on here I've just got some additional rises, and then my risers are like this. Yeah, like that. Not to this sounds sudden, this when it comes in here. You do not notice that thanks to side chaining, so, and the fact that I throw this on here. Because of the constant side chaining. So, yeah. So it's just like FX. There's tons of FX in the song. Super important to have FX. There's not that much FX, but... and there's actually, like, no basses. I think there were some that I was thinking of. I never used them. There was some stuff I was thinking of, but they were never used, and I just deleted something I actually needed, which is awkward. And then, like, even this wasn't used. What is this? Yeah, I was thinking about doing D&D. Still not used. There was actually nothing but this in the... This is the only thing used. Sausage fat. The proper EQing. And yeah, then just like sub. That polyphonic was an accident. It kind of sounds okay though. I'll put a little bit on. And yeah, so basically what I did was 8 bars of this cool part. So this is, I'll go through the arrangement as it goes here. So this is basically like my 4 bars of intro, or sorry, 8. And this is my coming 8 bars of like stuff, of information, just to get you like, okay, this is gonna be the song, and then this is the song again, just little added stuff. Sister came down on me. Anyways, what I was saying, this part is like the introduction, like more or less the intro. That was more of a like a DJ thing, I guess, the first 8 bars. But then this will bring us into like the more intense part of the actual same stuff, just added clocks, a little bit of drums. And the drums are gone, and now it's time for preparing for the build and the stuff. Then I have my 8 bars of rise. Or is that 4? It's 8. And then the drop. So the drop will basically, it's like, I cheated a bit to get like drop A and drop B, so I've got this version of the drop, and then this version. Drop A and B, it works, like they sound different enough that it's not that repetitive versus just repeating this like for 32 bars. And then we've got our outro. And this is like my 8 bars of we just finished the drop, and then I'm gonna throw in my 8 bars of like we're back to this again. Here in a second. Basically the intro, just more chill, and then back to like the familiarity of the same, like pretty much, I think duplicated just first riser and stuff. Back to the drop, and then this is the fill. Basically trying to bring the chords, like the plucks in here. Where are they at? This. So I'm trying to take the chords out like these, and then bring these in. And then go back to the familiarity of the intro, which is going to signify there's an outro. And I'm just doing my classic thing where basically I have like 4 bars of, or 8 bars of intro, and then the 4 I have like a riser, and then right at the end I have clap and chords. But I have the fake verb on there to go with the keys. And then the riser that goes out or whatever. And then the vocals I tried to carry on to like right at the end. And then I faded them out like that because there's actually all that. And then, so let's go over, that was like the arrangement. Now let's hit the sound design more or less. So we all know I use a Kontakt piano. I use some Virtual Variety plucks here. I'm just going to call them his plucks because, yeah. So I use that, and they sound nice if they play. Why aren't they playing? Oh. It's the point in time where the song clicked. And the arpeggiator is just auto doing that for me as well, which is nice. So I basically, as another riser I had, I do this a lot. What this is just a massive, just playing a square or ish, something like that, pretty much a square, and then basically have an LFO just bring the amplitude in more and more and more, and then like I cut all the sub out of it obviously and some of the fundamental. And that's just like a homemade kind of riser. I do a chord rise on these. Stuff you don't really hear too much, like just back. Just to kind of make the verb follow what's going on so you don't get a huge mess. And then I bring it again. Bring it in again here.